Hello, my most beautiful friends. As you guys can tell, we're very much zoomed in because I have, well, almost a full face of new makeup to test out for you guys. Last week I did a pretty big PR unboxing, so I'm going to be playing with all the goodies that I received in PR last week and let you guys know whether or not I think this is worth it. So grab a snack, grab a drink, and let's dive right on in. Alrighty, so don't mind my eye puffs. I slept like shit last night. It was horrible. I will tell you guys about that in a minute. But I am going to start off with my eyes. I do have two palettes I'm going to play with. I have the Down to Earth from Simply Posh. Down to Earth Shadow Palette is an 18-pan palette filled with 12 pigmented mattes and 6 intense special and shifting shimmers. Down to Earth contains the perfect mix of warm and cool earth tones from leafy greens to cannon orange hues. Now this palette actually does retail for $55, and then I'm also going to incorporate the Black Cherry palette as well because they also sent this, and this says Black Cherry is an 18-pan palette filled with 12 juicy pigmented mattes and 6 intense special shifting shimmers. Black Cherry contains every cherry tone your heart desires, from flushes of blush and mauve to deep burgundy and black. This palette is perfect for fall and winter color stories. And again, this does retail for $55. I don't have any affiliation with the brands. I don't have any like affiliate codes or discount codes. But I do know that like all my friends do, so I'm sure you guys can use one of their codes to buy the palettes if you guys wish to do so. So I'm just going to quickly go in with my eye base, and I'm going to kind of like mix the two together. I just want to do like a really pretty like fall inspired look that you can kind of wear every day if you wish to do so. So anywho, last night, y'all, you just have one of those nights where you just like can't sleep to save your life. I feel like that was me last night. So last night we were playing video games with our friends, and like we do pretty much every night. It's either me playing Fortnite with one of my coworkers. It's me either playing Fortnite or playing Lockdown Protocol, or just kind of a mix of different ones. And I'm gonna go into this beautiful shade right here called Burst. And so we're playing, and we end up getting off right around midnight because we're all like, okay, we gotta go to work the next day, we gotta go to bed, so we gotta like kind of gotta wrap up playing video games, right? And me and Corey like to kind of wind down by watching like TikTok because we just feel like that's just a great way to wind down. So I'll watch some TikToks as we're laying in bed and whatnot, and everything was great. I was getting tired. The last time I saw the clock was probably around like 12:30. It's like, all right, I'm gonna fall asleep. So I put my phone down, and I, I put my phone down. I'm like, okay, now it's time to go to sleep. So I wake up around 2:30-ish. I look at the time, I'm like, God, it's 2:30. I was like, okay, why am I awake? Like, this is a little odd that I'm being awake. So I just kind of lay there, and then I was like, well, I might as well just get up and use the bathroom because now I feel the urge to use the bathroom. So I get up and use the bathroom. I come back to bed. Mind you, I'm trying to be super quiet because Corey's passed out next to me, and I don't want to disturb him or wake him up. So I'm just trying to be as quiet as possible. So I get into bed and I lay there, and I was like, I can't sleep to save my life. So then I get up and I go back to like the bathroom, not to use it, but just to sit there and kind of like scroll on TikTok. I could have gone to the living room, but I feel like I've gone to the living room. Corey, that would have woken Corey up. Like he has heard me get up in the middle of the night to his bathroom before. Nothing really new, right? But I feel like if I went to the living room, he would have been like, what are you doing? That would have woken him up. And like he had to get up super, super early for work today. So I did not want to disturb him. So I just kind of went in the bathroom for like 30 minutes and like watched TikTok, and I was like, okay, I'm feeling kind of tired. Let me go ahead and go back to bed. I feel like I can manage falling back asleep. That's at least in my mind. I was like, I could fall back asleep. I was wrong. I was wrong. I'm going to go into this shade right here called Cannon to kind of mix with that. Like, so I'm going to use both palettes today. So I thought for sure I was going to be able to fall back asleep, but I was just really, really unable to kind of fall back asleep. So I wasn't really sure why. So I sat there for 2.5 hours just with my eyes open. I ended up grabbing my phone, and I'm just like browsing through Instagram, Facebook, very, very, very quietly on TikTok. I ended up playing one of my casino games. I like playing on my phone. Like I was trying anything and everything I could do to like occupy my time because I literally was just wide awake and I could not sleep. So eventually I looked at the clock, and last time I saw it was like 4:45. I said, okay, now I'm getting tired. Finally, let me just roll over. And next thing I know, Corey's alarm is going off at 5:45 a.m. And I jolt awake, and I was like, oh my God. He's like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, obviously I haven't really gone into the REM cycle yet. So that just like completely startled me. And then he's like, just go back to bed. I got the dogs taken care of. Like, go back to bed. I said, okay, cool. I'm gonna go into calming right here as well. So I was like, all right, bet, let me go back to bed. And next thing I know, I woke up and it was 8 o'clock. So I probably had a total of like 3.5 hours of sleep, if that. I've barely slept. And I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie, I'm tired, but I can't just go back to sleep because one, I'm not a big napper. I mean, I'll take naps if my body's like requiring me to, but I'm ultimately not a big napper. I never have been. I like being productive throughout the day. I actually like waking up early because I feel like I can get more done. Usually like my routine is if like I don't go into work till later, I'll get up at 7 o'clock and I'll go sit on the couch and I'll have my cup of coffee, my breakfast, and I'll watch like one of my TV shows I'm trying to watch or something like that. Or if or if Corey's not, getting up for work, then I still like to wake up at like 7:30 because I just really like to sit there on the couch for just a minute, look on TikTok, watch my TV shows, have a cup of coffee, and just really enjoy my morning, right? Like just to get everything going. So this morning I just was like, okay, maybe try to do that. I had my cup of coffee, but it was just, I was like, I gotta work, I gotta film. I didn't have time to really sit there and enjoy. And like I said, I like taking naps, but sometimes I don't like the naps. I like doing like 20-minute power naps, but I don't like doing the naps that are like 4 hours long because I wake up being super groggy going, oh my God, what year is it? And I hate that feeling. So I tend to avoid taking naps. But yeah, it was just a very, very long night and I'm just so tired. So that's why I had my little eye puffies on because my eyes were really poofy because your girl barely freaking slept. And you know what? Back in my 20s, I wouldn't even have batted an eye of not sleeping back in my 20s. But now that I'm in my 30s, y'all, it's like I'm a teenager again, like where I require sleep. But I feel like even then, teenagers, like, I used to be able to, as a teenager, sleep for like 12 hours and call it a day, right? And I'd wake up, rejuvenated, refreshed. Sometimes I want to go back to sleep. And then I got in my 20s and I was like, could do 2-3 hours of sleep at night because I was out having a great time. And then I got my 30s and I'm like, I require a minimum of like 7+ hours of sleep. Like, it's so insane how vastly different each age group is and how I really like just value my sleep more than anything. So I'm not a late night person. Like if someone's like gonna ask me out to go to like dinners, I'm like, hey, let's go grab some dinner and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, cool. We're meeting at like 5:36. Like, what's the dealio over here? And they're like, what about like 8? I'm like, ooh, 8's a little bit too late for me. My tummy's not gonna be the biggest fan of 8 o'clock at night, and we're starting to, encroach on my bedtime. So golden shade right here, called Oasis. I'll put that right next to that. I will say though, the shimmers, they feel kind of hard pan. Like I'm not the biggest fan of how the shimmers feel. Like I'm used to really creamy and buttery shimmers, and these are definitely not that. But they are laying down nicely, which is nice, but they just don't feel like super creamy or buttery. They feel a bit more hard pan to me, but as long as I can make it work, I can make it work. All right, I'm gonna go into this shade right here called Sun Baked, right next to that. Really pretty, like orangey, but then also it's pulling a little bit blue too. So I don't really know what's going on with that, but that is really pretty to kind of place this right here. Right next to that, let's try this shade called Bite right here. That could be really pretty. Like this green purplish. Right here. Oh yeah. Okay, so this is working out really nicely so far. The mattes are really the mattes don't really have that much fallout, blending out really nicely. Even though the shimmers don't have the most like wowing formula where I'm not like, wow, this formula feels incredible, so smooth, so emollient. It just feels incredible. I will say they're laying down really nicely and they have a lot of pigmentation to them, which I really do appreciate. So let me do the other eye off of camera and then we're gonna come back to move on to the face. Okay, so now the eyes are done. You notice how I'm not wearing any lashes. I think I'm just gonna wear mascara today. So we're just gonna go into the face. So I do have new foundation. Well, it's not new, but like it's kind of new to me. And it's the IT Cosmetics CC Plus New Glow Color Correcting Medium Coverage Skin Tint. They sent two of them over. They sent light and light medium, and it says that their nude glow is a true fan favorite, combining serious sun protection, bare skin improvement, and an unbeatable golden hour glow at any age. So they sent this over. So we're gonna try to go in with like some mattifying products, make sure it works. I'm gonna go in with my Milk Makeup Pore Eclipsing Mattifying Stick right here first. I'm running out of my One Size Extreme Alkaline Sucker Primer foundation. Primer primer. I'm running very, very low on it, and mine is getting like really dry and crusty. So I'm gonna order a new one during the Sephora savings event, which I'll talk about next week. But yeah, so I'm trying to implement and use different products that I know are also mattifying. It's just that one is my personal favorite, my absolute favorite oil control primer. So we're just gonna go in with the mattifying stick right there, followed by the Milk Makeup for mattifying primer right here. I'm going to try to like really try to do this foundation justice to see how it's going to wear on my oily skin. And then I'm obviously going to do an all day wear test as well. But it's really weird for me not to come on with lashes, because normally I always wear lashes with very colorful eye looks, but I just don't feel like putting on lashes today, and I just want to wear some mascara. But knowing me, I'll probably end up putting on a half lash if I don't like how it looks, and well, we'll see what ends up happening. But anywho, we're going to go into the foundation. I'm probably going to mix the two together because sometimes I find that that's the best match for me. They also included a brush. Their IT Cosmetics foundation, I think foundation concealer brush. Ooh, light medium. She's a little deep. She's a little deep. Let's see how... Light medium might be too deep. And that's light right next to it. Ooh! Maybe I didn't actually need light medium. Okay, well, here goes nothing. Am I painting it on, or am I stippling it on? I usually don't like complexion products like this. Like, I usually don't like complexion brushes. I just find that it always makes my skin look really streaky. I feel like this brush is a little bit too soft for this personally, but we're going to make it work. I'm going to stamp it in with my brush first, and then I'm also going to take my sponge right here, my damp beauty sponge, and then I'm gonna go over it with my damp beauty sponge just to make sure I can lock that in and get rid of any sort of like streakiness that might have occurred because of that. Oh, that is definitely the wrong shade match. Oh no. I even feel like the light is kind of deep. What is going on? Y'all, this is a little bit too tan for me. So this is classified as a medium coverage. I would definitely say it's a little bit more sheer to medium. And definitely way too deep for me. Ooh, I look so bad. I look so bad, but we're just gonna have to make it work, y'all. This is insane. Insane. I look like I just got super freaking tanned. Wow. Okay. So moving on to cream bronzer. I'm just going to go in with the About Face cream bronzer right here. I absolutely love this bronzer. I feel like it's really underrated. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about this. It's really, really good. It's one of the few bronzers. It's one of the few products from About Face I've actually tried, but I'm really glad I tried this because I actually really enjoy this bronzer formula, and I feel like it might not pop up because of how tan I freaking look. Wow, I am so sorry, guys. I'm supposed to, like, whenever I do my reviews, I try to keep it as real and authentic as possible so you guys can see in real time, like, one, how I'm doing my makeup, but two, how it's going to actually look. But I did not think that that was going to oxidize down the way it did. I'm beyond, this is insane. This is bad. This is so bad. So bad. And it's probably more my fault. I usually do mix. Like, I have other CC creams from IT Cosmetics I've tried before, and I've mixed them, and I've never had an issue. But this just, it's too tan. It looks horrendous. Oh, God, it looks bad. I'm so sorry. Okay, well, for blushes, I have 3 blushes. For cream blushes, I have 3 to try out from What's Up Beauty. These are the Rose Hippity Matte Liquid Blush. We have 3 different shades right here. I feel like the one that's probably going to work best for me is going to be the shade called Heirloom, because these two are one, this is going to be too light, and 2, this would be too deep. But I feel like Heirloom would be like a really pretty color to try out. Oh, I hate blushes like this. All right, let's... Oh, that's really pretty. All right, and then I'm gonna stipple this out. This is with their new blush brush as well from What's Up Beauty. I really like What's Up Beauty for sure. I really do. It's blending out really nicely and melting straight into the skin. It is a matte blush. I will have to kind of work with this. I feel like you guys are not seeing it on camera. I feel like you're not seeing it. I see it. Like, I see it in person. It is very light. It does melt into the skin, so it's easy to work with. But let's try this side. Ooh, that's a little bit too much. it melts really easily in skin, but it feels like it's a little bit too light for how deep this foundation is. So it's melting really nicely in the skin. It is a matte blush. We're going to have to play with this again, though. This is just the first impressions. It is showing up. I just don't know what you guys are seeing on camera personally. When I look at my monitor, I don't see it. So I do apologize. This is definitely a user error at this point. I'm just going to go in my Makeup by Mario. This is going to be so freaking light on me now because of how this is looking. Also, I think the foundation is not looking good. Now, I always have you guys asking me, like, why do I do, like, a full face of foundation with brand new products? Like, that's not fair to the products. I hear what you're saying, but some of these, but I will say the reason why I do is because they should be able to work together for the most part. And I love trying out all new makeup. Sometimes things work together and sometimes they don't, but it's also why I do follow up with my repurchase or trash, because then I really would have tried the product several times before I come back in with my final opinion on it. So it's why I like doing first impressions, aka first impressions, and like also trying out a full face of new makeup, so I could really give you guys my authentic thoughts by the end of the month. Although I have not done a repurchase or trash in a minute, I absolutely need to. But that's why I do like to mix the products, because it's just a great way to test out. And I always see other content creators do the same thing, and they don't seem to have any issues. I mean, the last few times I've done it, I have not had any issues, but today, oh man, everything was going great until I tried this foundation. My Kimchi Chic, my Nakia Joy, I'm going to mix these two together so that we can thoroughly test out this foundation to see how it's going to hold up on oily skin. I don't know how it's going to do, but we're going to definitely try it out. Hopefully it does well, but we shall see. And it maybe might lighten my skin tone a bit. I'm not entirely sure. I might have to go in with like a brightening powder afterwards, but I'm so sorry. My foundation looks like shit. All right, I'm going to try to reset it with the glass setting spray to bring some life back to it. For powder bronzer, I've really been enjoying the Makeup by Mario powder bronzer. I got this like 2 months ago. They sent it to me in PR, and it's actually a really nice bronzer. I've really found myself kind of gravitating to it a lot recently because I've just been like off camera when I'm going to work or just playing with doing makeup before I do my new makeup releases. If I'm not filming beforehand, I've been trying to utilize more products in my collection to make sure I'm actually going through everything. I haven't done a Shop My Stash since last month, so we'll definitely have to film one of those again this month so we could try out some old makeup to see what will survive my declutter that's going to be coming up and what will not. Because I usually go a little bit harder during my winter declutter versus my like spring declutter. I try to go a little bit more harder during that time to get rid of products I just truly haven't used in a hot minute. I give to my friends and family, and I donate where I can, just because I don't believe in just having an excessive amount of makeup. I think the most excessive thing I have would probably be my eyeshadow palettes because I love them so much, but everything else I have no problem like parting from. Okay, so for powder blush, we're actually going to go into the J Cat Beauty. This is the 2-in-1 piece of cake blush and highlighter, but I'm only going to use the blush because I actually do have a baked highlighter from them that I want to use as well. So this is how it's going to look. This is the highlighter. Pretty. And then this is the blush. So I'm going to go on very light-handed. Ooh, this feels like a cream blush. I mean, like very light-handed. Just to kind of tap right here. I don't want to do too much because it seems pretty pigmented. And I'm going to go in very light-handed. Very light. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. I will say, though, the base is looking freaking horrible. Like, let me show you my phone. It just, like, looks so bad. Like, it looks so bad. Like, look how, like, I zoom in of it. Like, it just looks so crusty. And I don't know. It's just not a good look. It doesn't look smooth. You can see every texture, every pore. I just definitely do not like how this foundation is looking on my skin in the slightest. And that's really unfortunate. Okay, so for highlight, we're going to go into the Glow Girl Baked Highlighter from J Cat Beauty as well. It looks really pretty. I have this shade called Crystal Sand. Again, I've never tried this brand before, so I'm excited to give them a go. I asked you guys if you guys ever tried this brand. A lot of you guys didn't really say you did or not, so I don't really know what the beauty community's thoughts are on this brand. But so far, the blush worked nicely. And now we're going to try out this highlighter. I do love a good baked highlighter. Let me see how that feels. Ooh. Ooh, that feels so dry. Ooh, that feels so dry. Oh, no. It's there, but this feels incredibly dry, and I'm digging my brush into this to try to get some pigment on it. Oh my God, look how lackluster that is. That is so lackluster. I'm definitely not a fan of that at all. What if I add a little bit of the Pieces of Cake highlighter on top? I don't care for that highlighter at all. And I like a good baked highlighter because like that adds a little bit more glow to the cheek than the other one going in with this. Like I have my Iconic London lit and luminous baked highlighter, and that is one of my absolute favorite highlighters. So that is just that's a no. I will say adding this one added a little bit more texture. This feels a lot more creamier than that one does. That's really disappointing. That's kind of sad. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set my face really fast with the Danessa Myricks. For the under eye, I think I'm going to take this shade right here called Foliage to lay that softly underneath our waterline today. I don't do anything too drastic. I just feel like adding a little touch of green would be really, really pretty. Be really pretty just to kind of lightly buff that on right under here. For actually mascara, I'm going to go in with the mix between the Colossal Waterproof and regular. I actually got sent these in PR, and they were doing a battle of like which one out of all their like mascaras was the best, and I voted for Colossal, so they sent this my way. It was either that or I should have done the Firework one because I also really like that one. No, that's not their brand. Was it their brand? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Or the Falsies. I really like them both, but I remember being obsessed with Colossal back when I was a teenager. So I'm going to go into the waterproof one first. I don't know. I thought I really was going to like this one. I remember liking it a lot, but it's a little wet and it's transferring a little bit. This video is not turning out the way I wanted it to. Okay, now that the mascara is on, we're going to go back into the Down to Earth. I'm going to go into the shade right here called Soil. That's going to be our brow bone and our inner corner moment today, because I feel like it's going to be really pretty. Just to kind of take this and put this like right here. It's like this gorgeous like silver shade. All right, so for lips, I do have 3 lips I want to try out from the Revlon. These are going to be the matte ink right here. I've never tried these before. They did send these over to me, so I don't really know how the formula is. I've never tried them. So I have the first shade. This is going to be called 70 Amazonian. Wow. It's like they're matte vinyl ink one. So I wanted to really try these out. I also have this beautiful red one that I really want to give a go. This one is called, oh, okay. That's not going to go for today's look, but that's going to be something I'm going to try like on a new makeup releases, my red lip. Oh, we are definitely trying that. That is going to be the shade called 20 Pioneer. And then I also have the shade called 510 Charmer right here as well. Ooh, that's also really pretty. Really pretty. So I think I'm going to go in with the first shade right here. And then to line my lips, I am going to go in with the Pixi Lip Brush. I'm going to go into the shade right here called Purity because I feel like that would kind of match this a little bit. Maybe these are lip stains. So hopefully this will work out pretty nicely, but we shall see. So let me go ahead and take this. Let me line my lip with it. What's this white stuff on this? Why is there white stuff on this? There's white stuff at the tip of my applicator. I don't like that. Why is there white stuff? It's really, really bothersome. You know what? I think I'm going to skip putting this on because no. I think I'm going to go into the Senj Beauty. This is going to be the Brazen Birch. Brazen Birch is what we're going into. All right, and then let's use the matte ink lip vinyl. I'm excited for this. Oh, that's so pretty. It's actually a really, 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 really pretty color. And it's supposed to dry down. So while it dries down, I'm actually going to set my face. I'm going to go into the Nakia Joy Cosmetics Pressed Finishing Powder. This is a mattifying powder. It's also going to be a lightener, and I'm going to really kind of set the face. I want to give this foundation a fair chance, even though it's definitely not a right shade match. I still want to give this a fair chance. So I'm going to go ahead and set my face with this. I'm going to set my face with L'Oreal 3-Second Setting Mist. Okay, so the lip is drying down. It is pretty. It's a really pretty color. It's really sticky though. Like, is it supposed to be sticky? I wonder if it transfers. Let's find out. Okay. Well, it does. Okay. So much for being matte proof. All right. Well, then I might as well just go ahead and finish it off with the Dew Glow. This is a lip hydrator from J Cat Beauty. This is going to be in the shade called Drizzle Sparkle. So let's try this out on top of this lip because, like, why not? Oh, that's really pretty. All right, let's try this out in this. I don't like the way that feels. Feels kind of thick. It changed the consistency, and this is supposed to be a hydrator. It does not feel like a hydrator at all. Just feels like a lipstick more than anything else. So, yeah, there's that. Not the color I was going for, but there's that. I thought it was going to be definitely a little bit more sheer, like an actual like balm, but it doesn't seem to be, so there is that, guys. I'm going to zoom you guys out, and then I'm going to give you guys my first impressions, followed by my wear test. Okay, guys, so this is final look right here, and I definitely have some thoughts. So I will say I actually do really enjoy the Simply Posh Down to Earth and the Black Cherry palettes. The mattes are really pigmented. There wasn't any issues with blendability. There's a little bit of fallout, but they're really, really easy to work with, which I really do appreciate. The shimmers are really gorgeous. Like, they are really gorgeous. They lay down really nicely. I didn't notice any fallout with them or any flaking with them. They blended really easily into each other. I'd say the only thing I'm not the biggest fan of is just the way the shimmer formula feels, but other than that, these worked really nicely, and I feel like these are probably the best products I've tried so far in this video were these two palettes. Like I said, these are available right now. I don't have a code or anything like that, but I will say I think out of the two, I think I definitely prefer the Down to Earth. This is definitely just more of my color style right here, but I was able to do a really pretty look using both, and I will say these are absolutely gorgeous. Like, I love how the eye look has turned out. Like, it's so pretty. Moving on to the foundation, not only did I not have the correct shade because I just didn't, I mixed it. I will say, like, this whole forehead area, that was just the light. That was just the light, and somehow it still turned out to be a little bit too deep. It definitely oxidized down, and personally, I just don't like how my makeup looks. Like, I think my makeup truly does look like shit. I don't know how you guys can, I don't know how well you guys can see it based upon my beauty lights and my camera, but to me in person, my makeup does look like shit. Like, I would not go out in public with this. I'd wash my face off, which is really unfortunate because I really do like It Cosmetics. I like their matte CC cream, but this one right here just doesn't seem to really want to lay down nicely. It definitely is more sheer than it is medium. You could build it up, but I just feel like I don't have the right shades, and that's just my fault. I'll try it again, but so far, not a big fan of that. The blush from What's Up Beauty, it's a pretty blush. It's a pretty blush. I don't like this applicator. I just feel like this applicator is just gonna be one of those ones that just that would just leak on me, and it's why I don't really like these type of products. There feels like to be a lot of air in here versus product. This is a really pretty color though. I liked how easy this was to blend into the skin and to melt down. Even though it's a mattifying blush formula, it was still really easy to work with. So I'm definitely going to keep testing this out again, probably on a different foundation so I can give it my true thoughts. But first impressions, I do like this one. The J Cat Piece of Beauty, a Piece of Cake blush, the matte blush, really pretty. It's very, very pigmented. It's very pigmented, so a little bit does go a long way. And I feel like the highlighter is actually really nice. This is probably the one product from this brand that I like so far. Everything else I'm not really the biggest fan of, but I do really like this one. The highlighter, no. This baked highlighter is just not good. It's so dry, and there's like barely any sort of pigmentation. You have to really, really, really build it up, and I had to go with a different highlighter to even get this. It's just not my cup of tea. I'm not saying it's not a good highlighter for other people. I'm sure it is, but for me personally, this is not a formula I typically go for, so I'm just not a big fan of this right here. The Colossal mascara is very disappointing. I thought these would be a lot better than what they were. I used to be Team Colossal way back in the day, but I'm not a fan anymore. I prefer like the Fireworks. I prefer Sky High. I prefer the Falsies. I prefer L'Oreal Panorama and stuff like that. This one right here, not a favorite of mine. The Pixi product, I really wanted to like this and try this out, but this white stuff on here is just kind of creeping me out because I don't know what it is. It doesn't have a smell, but it really makes me not want to try this product because I just don't know what it is. And when I try to swatch it, it just, I don't know. It's just a little iffy for me. A little iffy. Not a fan of that. But the Maybelline Matte Ink, this is a really pretty color. I really enjoyed the shade that I tried out of the 70 Amazonian. Really, really pretty. Dries on really nicely. It does transfer though, so if you don't think it's not going to, it's going to transfer. It is sticky, but it's a really, really, really pretty full coverage lipstick, which I do, the full coverage matte liquid lip, which I do appreciate. But I feel like adding this J Cat lip hydrator on top just, it changed the color. It's still sticky. I'm not a fan, so I'm going to go ahead and add the Maybelline Lip Gloss in the shade called Ice to give me some hydration that I thought I was going to get with that hydrator that I did not get. So gonna add this right here. This video definitely went south. I thought that I was gonna leave this video going, oh my god, I love everything, but so far I only like very few products out of everything I've tried so far today, which is really sad because I was kind of hoping to like a lot more. But at the end of the day, regardless of a company sends me something or not, I'm always gonna keep it 1000% real with you guys. And some products in here just didn't work for me, or just products I'm not the biggest fan. Products I'm just not the fan of the formula, and that is completely okay. It's nothing against the brands. It's just me keeping it absolutely honest with you. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and come back in 12 hours and give you guys my thoughts on how this lasted throughout the day. Okay guys, so we didn't exactly make it to the 12-hour mark. We made it to the 10-hour mark, and this is how the makeup is looking. It's definitely holding on surprisingly. I am getting a little oily in my T-zone, but I think because I used a lot of mattifying products, I was able to make the glow foundation work, which I'm not surprised because I've done this before with like other glowing foundations. I was able to make them work for me by using the right products underneath. So this is how makeup is looking. I will say I still absolutely hate how my base looks. I'm just not a fan. It looks way too deep, but the eyes, guys, the eyes are so pretty. Like they held on so nicely. Lips did not. I did also take them off because I really wanted to eat, but the blush, you can kind of see the blush there. The highlighter, it just kind of blends in with my oil. The mascara kind of bled. And you can see where the foundation's lifted from my nose. But like I said, I am getting oily. You don't even see the blush on this side. So overall, I'm definitely not really impressed with a lot of the items I tried. I think, like I said, the best ones from this entire video is the eyeshadow palettes. I really do love how my eyes turned out. They're really, really pretty. I'm not noticing like any cracking or creasing with them whatsoever. So even though the formula doesn't feel the best, it's lasting a very long time, which is nice. I think because they're not so creamy and buttery, they probably have a lot more longevity to them. And whenever I touch my face, it just feels disgusting. So I'm gonna go wash this off, wash my makeup off. But I really did love the eyes, at least. The eyes were like the saving grace for this. So overall, definitely not impressed with a lot of products I tried today. But you know what? That's the point of doing these videos, is to try them out and see how they work. I'm gonna keep testing this out for the rest of the month before I give you guys my final impression. But first impressions of this, majority of these items, just I'm not a fan. So that, my most beautiful friends, is it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure you guys give this video a cheeky thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you guys have not already. So I do post 3 to 4 videos every single week. Make sure you guys head over to my other channels, R for Life. You guys get to see my cool, wonderful adventures, my amazing husband, Corey. And as always, the biggest thank you goes to these beautiful, wonderful page members you guys see right here. Thank you guys so much for everything. And to my subscribers and viewers, thank you guys so much for being here. Whether you guys like this video, you guys thumbs down this video, you guys subscribed, you guys did not subscribe, either way, thank you guys so much for being here. I love and appreciate each and every single one of you. So with that said, I love you, and I'll see you guys in the very next video.